What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and in this video, I'm going to be detailing the best weapons for you to chase in episode Revenant. So, I know this video seems super late, but if you're a person who has taken this episode off, or you haven't grinded out all the weapon rolls that you want, this is just going to be a quick PSA on the best rolls to chase, and basically just what I think are the only weapons worth getting. There's only 4 weeks left in the episode, so I figured it was worth making since many of you may be returning to play Act 3 tomorrow. Or not. I don't know. Does anyone even play this game anymore? I hear it's dying. Anyways, I play a lot of endgame PvE, so these weapon rolls will be PvE focused. If you want a good Scavenger's Fate for PvP, go right ahead, but this video is just going to be detailing the best PvE weapons that you should get before the episode ends. So let's get right into it. I wanted to make a video on a lot of these weapons individually because they're excellent at what they do, but instead I just opted for this comprehensive video. So first up is my new favorite legendary primary in the game, and that is Vantage Point. This is a 390 RPM adaptive frame pulse rifle, and it has solid base stats, but it has what I think is the best perk in the game on a primary weapon in jolting feedback. Volt Shot was already goated, but this perk allows you to apply Jolt without needing a kill first. This is extremely powerful in endgame PvE where legendary primaries feel quite weak, but this perk makes it extremely strong. Applying Jolt is just a straight up damage perk, but it also gives you added AoE damage, all for just shooting your gun. I can't stress enough how damn strong this perk is. It also can create ionic traces very easily as you mow down jolted enemies, so it has built-in utility as well. In the left column, I have a roll with Eddy Current, which I love, and this is an obvious pairing as you'll be amplified a lot as you kill jolted targets, so this perk is great. Another awesome one is Deconstruct, as it will deal bonus damage to vehicles and constructs, and it will also reload your magazine. This is an excellent perk, and I actually kept this roll around as well, and it may become my new go-to. The refilling of the mag is perfect for this weapon, as you apply jolting feedback by dealing sustained damage, so this just allows you to keep on shooting. The last perk that could be decent is Stats for All, but ideally you want Deconstruct or Eddy Current. But at the end of the day, as long as you get jolting feedback on this weapon, then you're chillin'. Pulse rifles are strong against unstoppables this season, so it can stun unstops, and then it can also stun overloads with the jolt that it applies. It is an extremely versatile weapon. An anti-barrier pulse rifle comes up quite often in the artifact, so when it does, again it will have dual champion utility. Or even if it isn't featured, you can just build into a way to get Radiant and have anti-barrier rounds and be able to apply Jolt. This weapon is just amazing. Another primary on this list is powerful for the exact same reason as Vantage Point, and that is because it is another primary weapon with jolting feedback, and that is VS Pyroelectric Propellant. This thing can get some nasty PvP rolls as well, but I'm focusing on one roll in particular. Again, you're chasing jolting feedback, and then in the left column, you can once again go 3 different ways. You can go Eddy Current for the obvious arc synergy again, but there are 2 better perks to chase. The first being Attrition Orbs. People have really caught on to how strong Attrition Orbs is, and it is great on an auto rifle. I have this roll and it rips. But the perk that I think would be slightly better is actually Strategist, especially on a Warlock. I want this roll for my Crown of Tempest Warlock, but if I don't get it, then Attrition Orbs with jolting feedback is a great consolation prize. Sadly, this weapon comes from the Vespers Host dungeon, so it's not the easiest to farm, but it's well worth getting. And I didn't say it on the last one, but I will say it here, the perks here are what matters. If you get these perk combinations, then just keep the weapon. The barrel and magazine options in the Masterwork are just gravy. So in the same vein as the last two, the last primary weapon in the game that can roll jolting feedback is the submachine gun Noxious Vetiver. This gun honestly has some pretty weak stats, and it's a 600 RPM SMG which don't feel great in PvE, but again, you want to go for jolting feedback here, and then the best option in the left column is probably Attrition Orbs. Loose Change has great synergy with jolting feedback however, and Pugilist can be a good utility role for melee based builds. I know this seems redundant, but I just can't stress enough how strong jolting feedback is, and it's truly worth chasing on any primary weapon that it rolls on. So the next weapon is another one from Vespers Host Dungeon, and I do want to mention it is best to farm these weapons before February because once the new dungeon comes out in February, the Vespers Host Dungeon will no longer be farmable. You'll only be able to chase your weapon rolls once per week per character. So what is the best weapon that you really want from this dungeon? Well, in my opinion, this thing is the best special weapon in the game. Again, I should have probably made a dedicated video on how strong this thing is, but by now, I feel like people are very aware, and that is VS Velocity Baton. This is an area denial frame GL, and it's absurdly powerful. Why is it so good? Well, because it can roll with attrition orbs, and this thing prints orbs because it is a damage over time weapon. So this thing is a monster for certain ability based builds. You can get orbs like crazy to feed abilities through things like Invigoration or Innervation, or build into survivability to get health back with something like Recuperation. People have been abusing this functionality like crazy to supercharge their builds, especially on Prismatic, which is already ability focused. And being an area denial frame, it also builds light transcendence energy like crazy, which is great on pretty much any Prismatic build. Damage over time is an extremely powerful effect, and this thing is so strong it is basically power crept Witherhoard out of being useful. So attrition orbs is a must, and then you want Demolitionist if you can. Reloading this GL sucks, but this perk can allow you to reload the weapon just by throwing your grenade. Additionally, kills with this weapon will grant more grenade energy, which is crazy powerful. The role I have is Reverberation, which is totally useless, but it is the only attrition orbs role that I got, and honestly, just having attrition orbs is all you really need. I also have Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds, and this is a really fun wombo combo in the right situations and builds, and I will definitely be hanging on to both roles. But get yourself any role with attrition orbs before episode 3 releases. You'll regret it if you don't. The next one is another weapon from Vesper's host, and that is VS Chill Inhibitor. Because of the weight gate controversy, Bungie gave us one god roll for free from the gunsmith, and that was awesome. The roll is Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch, and it also had Spike Grenades, which is the perk that you want in the magazine as it adds impact damage. So this roll is basically the best DPS GL in the game. It auto reloads itself with Envious Arsenal just by dealing damage with your other two weapons, and this will also proc Bait and Switch. And being a rapid fire frame, it deals better DPS than adaptives. And it also has deeper ammo reserves than adaptives, so basically it's the best in slot GL in the entire game. But it has another unique and powerful perk combination, and that is Cascade Point with Bait and Switch. This has insane burst DPS, but it's not quite as good in swap damage rotations. But this roll combination has some niche situations that it's a monster for. I got lucky enough to get this roll and I absolutely love it. It is definitely worth getting both of these rolls before next episode. And then the final weapon you want to chase is also a heavy grenade launcher, and that is Bittersweet. The main perk combinations you want is Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch, and again, ideally you want spike grenades. But mini frags or augmented drum are also really nice, as you will be able to hold one more in the magazine. This season in particular, this combination absolutely shreds in some unique damage rotations, as Aegis and Llama have covered greatly in dedicated videos. But even outside of this season, it will be very strong because of surge matching, where you can run this GL with something like Cloud Strike for a super strong swap damage rotation. Sadly, I have yet to get this combination of perks, which is insane because I play this game a lot, but RNG is gonna RNG. Thanks Bungie for getting rid of crafting. Anyways, it can also roll with the previously mentioned combination of Cascade Point and Bait and Switch, which is very strong in its own right. This GL has a lot of good perks, but these are the ones that you really want to get. Anyways, that's it. I just wanted to make a video to highlight some of my favorite weapons from this season and give the community some advice on what to focus on chasing. The tonic system is finally working, so you can finally focus farm these things. And with Act 3 coming out, you may as well be chasing some of these rolls while you wrap up the last content remaining in this episode. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, a like and subscription would be greatly appreciated. And if you're still here, thanks so much for watching to the end. I'll be streaming on Twitch and YouTube this week doing Act 3, so come check it out. My Twitch is itstizzle7 and it's linked in the description below. And I also have a community Discord if you want to check that out. Anyways, that's enough from me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.